So, descriptive essays. There's two things a descriptive essay needs. Even if you read a lot of the textbooks that exist, they write whole 500 page books on how to write an essay. A lot of those words are not necessary. So I'm about to tell you in 2 sentences or 2 steps how to write a good descriptive essay and do a good job. It might not be perfect, but it'll be enough for you to get a very good grade. So the 2 things are, the first one, who remembers what the senses are, the 5 senses?
On the body, sight,
Yep. Sight, hear.
Nice.
So
Taste.
see, hear, taste, touch, smell. Right. So when you're writing a descriptive essay, you want to include as many of the 5 senses as you can. So see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. So if someone asked me to write an essay about, I don't know, the day I spent at the lake, then I'm going to describe how fresh the water smelled and it was clean and the sun was shining down on the water, and when I stuck my foot in it felt warm and cozy, and then the sun felt squishy and warm under my feet and it relaxed me like the hot rocks at the spa. Or she a mess.
She did say that.
We ain't trying to be freaky. We talking about the relaxing at the beach. Poor man, go.
That's the ice.
But yeah, so, oh, girl. So yeah, but when you're describing it, somebody should feel like they can feel what you're describing. So evidently I did a good job, because she done just ran talking about, ooh, that sound freaky. But yeah, so when you're describing something, like if somebody said, oh, my mama used to make macaroni and cheese, and then when you pull it, you could see the string, and then it would have that little burnt patch on top where it's bubbling, and the cheese would get all crusty and feel good, and you know, and you just, and people be like, oh, I can't wait to have. So that's what a good descriptive essay does. It makes your audience feel like you were there, they were there, excuse me, or it makes them imagine what you're describing. If you're doing a good job, they like, man, I could see that.
I can do that.
Now you know who really good at that?
Me.
Men. Cause they so funny to me. They be like, and they can't do nothing else. Like if I ask my husband, I'm like, which socks you want me to get for you out the drawer? He be like, you know, them ones with the stuff and I'm like, what? It's about it's a thousands. The brown ones with the thing and the stuff. But then if you hear like I know when I was growing up, my uncles and them, if they didn't know I was coming or something, I'd be behind them and I could hear my uncles and them, they'd be like, you know that one girl that just moved in the neighborhood? And somebody be like, the light skinned one? And they be like, no, dog, the dark skinned one. She had the body with the, and then she had the long hair, and then them bit, you know, like with the poofy lips, the ones that look all kissable. Like dudes can describe some girls. If they can't describe nothing, they can't tell you where nothing else at. But ask them to describe a girl, she about 5'6" and a half. Look, they don't even know in a half.
That's the truth.
Anything else, they just, I don't know. Where was you at? I don't know. Where was you there? I don't know. I ain't even see it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What's the definition? I don't know. How you spell it? I don't know.
That's a shame. All right. So descriptive essays, though, we want to include the 5 senses, and then the other thing we want to include is the journalist tools. Or, hold on, let me write this. Journalist tools. Another word for the journalist tools, and actually that should be journalist tools, is the 5 W's.
5 W's.
Mm-hmm. It's the same thing, it's just a different name for it. So why do you got, well, let me back up. Anybody ever heard of the 5 W's?
I've heard it, but I don't remember.
Good. At least you heard of them before. We on the right track. So the 5 W's are who,
Where,
what,
where,
when,
and why.
where, yep,
When and why.
why, and sometimes how. All right, so again, 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, why, and sometimes how. They actually say and sometimes how. But it was also sometimes called the journalist tools. What's a journalist? A person who writes stories for a magazine or a journal, right? So as a reporter, their job is to give us the good details we really need.
Right.
So what if somebody came on TV and said, there's a great new school. You can go there even if all you need is to pass the OGT, and you can do 5 or 8 week classes and they'll help you get a diploma. Thank you for tuning in. Good night. What did they leave out?
Cost.
The cost, what else? Where is it at? Who in charge of it? So all you know is, man, that sounds like my dream school. You don't know what city is in, the name of the school.
No.
So a good journalist is gonna remember to tell the who's in charge or who it is, who it's about, what it's for, why it's there, all those. And that journalist wouldn't have done a good job. So the 2 things again, for a good descriptive essay, you're gonna need to include the 5 senses, describe it and make the person feel like they were there. And then the other 5 you need is the 5 W's. So you need the 2 5s. The 5 what?
W's.
And the 5 what?
Senses.
All right, so those are the basically 10 things you need to write a good descriptive essay. Now there's gonna be some exceptions to the rules. Sometimes you're not gonna need how, which is why I said sometimes how. And sometimes you won't be able to include all those senses because some of them won't apply. Sometimes you're not going to taste anything. If I said Cleveland Heights just added a new building, I don't need to add taste to that because I probably didn't lick the building to see how it tastes. But I can describe how the walls feel and what it looks like, and you know, I might say they actually have humidifiers in the room that make a nice humming sound in the background. So I can even describe how the building sounds and all of that good stuff, what it looks like, how it feels, but taste just won't apply. And if I do taste something in the air and it's that strong, we probably in trouble.
We need to get out.
All right, so do those make sense though?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that is, in a nutshell, a quick but great summary of how to write a good descriptive essay.
Right anyway, so that